Welcome to the season 2 recap of The Bear. In the summer of 2022, James Beard award winning chef Carmine returns to home to Chicago to manage the original beef of Chicagoland, a rundown River North restaurant owned by his brother Michael, who recently died by suicide. His brother's best friend, Richie, and the stubborn staff resist Carmi's proposed changes to modernize the Carmi hires Culinary Institute of America trained chef and Chicago native Sydney Adamu, who wants to help him fix the restaurant because it was her dad's favorite. In a flashback, Carmi works at a fine dining restaurant in New York City where his boss verbally abuses him. In the present, Carmi attempts to overhaul the menu as he faces continued resistance from the staff members who fail to show him respect. Carmi's sister Natalie attempts to help but struggles to connect with her brother. Richie reveals to Sydney that Michael wouldn't allow Carmi to work in the restaurant when he was younger and that he shot himself in the head 4 months prior. Carmi attends an Al Anon meeting in an attempt to better understand his brother's struggles with addiction. At the restaurant, he introduces a Brigade de Cuisine style kitchen and relies on the ill prepared and increasingly frustrated Sydney to manage it. After initial failures, the staff begin to connect to the new roles, particularly Marcus, the passionate baker. Carmi and Sydney clash over how to best run the restaurant. Carmi and Richie cater a children's birthday party for Cicero. Meanwhile, Sydney bonds with the restaurant staff and begins to earn their respect. Marcus becomes passionate about his new chocolate cake program. Carmi and Sydney agree to create a new diner menu to drive up profits. Wanting to become an official employee, Fark interviews with Richie, which culminates in a fight, requiring Carmi to break them up. Fark reveals that Richie has been selling cocaine in the alley behind the restaurant. As Marcus rushes to bake cakes, a fuss blows and the restaurant's operations cease. After Fark informs Carmi it will cost over $5,000 to replace the damaged condenser, he asks Richie to get the money by selling cocaine one final time. Sydney develops a risotto meal for an upcoming dinner menu, but Carmi rejects it. But still, Sydney serves it to a customer. Sugar comes to the restaurant to work on the problem of back taxes and looks with Carmi for the missing documents needed for filing. Later, the gangsters get into a scuffle which Sydney breaks up by offering them leftovers. Richie feels left out and unneeded because of Sydney's success and calls the cops on the gangsters. Ibrahim reads aloud a new review of the restaurant which gives it a good appraisal, with specially high regards for the risotto dish which Sydney gave to the reviewer as a kind gesture. Tina's son got suspended, so she brings him to the diner to learn culinary skills. Carmi blows up on Sydney and Marcus. Sydney accidentally stabs Richie in the chaos and announces her immediate resignation as Carmi begins to mentally deteriorate. Carmi attends an Al Anon meeting and shares how he got into the restaurant business because his brother never let him work at the beef. Sydney and Marcus meet at her apartment and discuss their futures after they both quit due to Carmi's outburst in the kitchen. The beef hosts a bachelor party where a fight breaks out and Richie is arrested for nearly killing a guest. The man recovers and Richie is charged with aggravated assault rather than manslaughter. Carmi accidentally starts a stove fire while lighting a cigarette and stares blankly at it while the other chefs put it out. Sydney returns after Carmi apologizes to her over text and suggests improvements to her risotto dish. Carmi hangs a sign announcing the closure of the beef and that a new restaurant called The Bear will be opening soon. Thank you for watching the recap, and if you liked it, then please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.